Welcome to my first episode of A Taste of Fruition, hosted by yours truly, Nini Hooks. And I have my first guest, who is a very special guest to me, another media personality here in Atlanta, MiAsia Symone.
Hi, Nini.
I am so happy to have you here with me. I was excited to meet with you today. First of all, because like I said, media personality. We have a story, we have a journey, and so it's just exciting to kind of hear about another media personality's journey. But also just to kind of just talk and inspire the other people who are watching to follow their dreams and work hard. And you are a hard-working woman.
Thank you.
It's beautiful to sit here next to you today because now it's getting to a point where when they mention celebrity in Atlanta, they like, let's call MiAsia, you know. So how does that feel?
I mean, first and foremost, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be your very first episode. I'm just happy to see you get it off the ground and get it going, and that's always the first step, you know, just doing it, just making it happen.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me. Now, when you mention celebrity and then my name comes up, I think that it's I'm honored that that's a way that you look at me or your perspective, because, you know, I'm doing it more so for my passion and my purpose and not for the fame and the clout and the things that come. I mean, you have perks that come with everything, but I think that me being a voice is more important than, you know, the fame and whatever else comes with it.
Right. I love that. Okay, so we are doing a Taste of Fruition wine tasting today.
Okay.
So as we talk about your journey, we're going to go through a journey of a wine tasting flight.
And this is right up my alley because I love wine. Yes. I love every single wine. I mean, all the way down from your Cabernets to your Merlots to your Pinot Grigios. Yes. Like, I love everything.
Good, because I didn't bring anything sweet, and I was like, I just...
Okay. No, that means you're a real wine drinker. If you come in here with Cellar Rose and all of that, no shade to any of those brands. But I think real wine is, you know, you have to have a taste for it.
So, we're going to start with a sparkling wine.
Okay, Prosecco.
Yes, we're starting with the Prosecco, and you know Prosecco is made in Italy. So this is a DOC Brut style.
Okay.
Prosecco.
Okay.
Whoosh. And so I love Prosecco. I usually this is my sparkling wine of choice when I make my mimosas.
Okay.
And I love to have a nice glass Prosecco when I have my charcuterie moment.
Yes.
So, I didn't pour you a tasting portion, so
that's okay. Look, you pour me the full glass.
Right.
Okay.
So, how I like to start a Taste of Fruition is, can you just mention one recent accomplishment that you were just really proud of yourself for?
One recent accomplishment, I was recently hired at Hot 107.9 radio station in Atlanta, and I'm excited to be there because it's almost as if it's like a new step. I've been in radio since 2015 as a intern, moved up to promotions assistant, then went to a radio personality where I just had a segment at Streets 94.5, but now I'm actually able to step out on my own, and MiAsia Symone's name stands alone. So thank you, big thank you to Hot 107.9 Radio 1 for hiring me. Shout out to my program director, Devin. I think this is going to be the start of something great, so that's my accomplishment.
Cheers!
Cheers! Ooh,
we are going to talk more about that. Okay,
that is good.
You like that?
Yeah, and it's crazy because I always get the one with the light blue label, but the orange one I've never tried it, so it's a little different. It's a Brut, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's a Brut, and it's a little bit drier than the
one. Yes,
the market
that
one
is
that
true.
you're talking about, and that's usually what a Brut means when it comes to sparkling wine. Yep, it's a little drier.
I like it.
But yes, it's my drink of choice. I love this particular one. But I like that little Marco one too, though. I do drink that one sometimes.
It's really good. And then it's like, it gets my day going because it's the first thing I put in my body all day. Yeah. I am starving, so I'm trying to, this whole charcuterie, I'm trying to be modest, but I really just want to go ahead and
Right, yeah. So I also, please dig in. I made a charcuterie board. I love to kind of dabble in charcuterie aesthetics. So I did some Triscuit crackers and some peppers, and I like to dip my peppers into my hummus.
Really?
Yeah, that's my snack of choice. Like when I'm trying to eat healthy.
Wow,
and
you
stuff,
eat peppers by itself?
With the hummus? Yeah, I dip it in the hummus.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I don't even
like a little rabbit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do the crackers, but I don't know about the peppers. I'm gonna leave the peppers. Yeah, I'm gonna try this though. You made this, or is it like a?
It's a
because I see it has some
Chipotle sauce
in it. Okay, that's different. I've never seen that, so I'll like mix it up and try it.
I like the different flavors. I usually go to Publix and get like the boar's head cheeses and the boar's head peppers and stuff. So I'm sorry, boar's head hummus. So I'm sure you're gonna like that one because I like it too.
It's really good.
And yeah, make sure you don't have to finish every glass if you don't want. I'm
gonna finish every glass. You're gonna have the true taste.
Right. Okay. So I like to kind of incorporate parts of the journey with the wines that we're drinking. Right.
Okay.
So when we move on to the white wine, which I'm about to get ready and pour next, I have a Sauvignon Blanc, and I think of white wine as being like, transparent, right? Like see-through, kind of like getting into the journey and talking about some of the things that were not so pretty about the journey. So
that's true. I love it. And now every time I look at white wine, I'm gonna be like, I can see right through it. Like,
see right through it.
This is my. If I had a long day, I need some white wine.
Right. Exactly. See, I'm supposed to be pouring tasting portions, and I just I do the most. That's how.
That's how I am, girl. Like, thank you.
So, fun fact. Okay. When I hold my glasses, I hold them by the stem, Yep. Because when you hold them with your hands here. It kind of changes the temperature of your wine, which of course sometimes affects the taste.
Okay.
Or the tasting profile
of it. Okay, you just taught me something new.
Yeah. So I hold it by the stem. And, it's just something I learned when I was taking like wine tasting sensory classes and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so another thing that we are going to do, which I love, is called the 5 senses.
Okay.
Right? So we taste our wine using all 5 senses. Obviously, we look at it. We kind of just take a really good look at what we see and the properties of it. Like when I do this, I see some legs coming down the side. Yeah. Which some people say that means that it's a lot of sugar or it's high in alcohol content. Okay. That's debatable. Scientifically speaking, it really does not mean those things.
Okay.
The driest wines have legs coming down the side, so it doesn't always mean it's sugar.
Okay.
So that's our visual aspect of the senses, and then of course we kind of smell it. I
smell that.
Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, me too.
Sauvignon Blanc. My favorite region to get Sauvignon Blanc from is New Zealand. Okay. I always go for a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. They have the tropical fruit notes that I like to kind of smell in my wines. Okay. The aromas are beautiful.
I really love Kim Crawford.
Me too.
Yeah,
that's
Kim
my favorite.
Really?
Yes. Okay. That one really has like a papaya. Aroma to
like I was
it.
trying to figure out what fruit is this that I'm
like
smelling.
An apricot papaya situation. Okay, so we did our visual, we did our smelling, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well, how do we hear it? I don't really hear any bubbles or anything, but we can hear a little quick cheers, and then we taste.
Oh yeah, that's good.
You like that one? Yeah, that one's called Whitehaven. I love
Whitehaven. That one's really good. I like that.
So as we, continue to taste this one, let's kind of talk about starting out with hosting and journalism and things like that. Did you go to school for journalism?
Yes. So I graduated with a bachelor's degree in journalism from Georgia State University with a minor in film. And originally I was in school to take up like sports medicine. But the entry level to that is health and physical education. So that came from my journey in sports, playing basketball. I didn't want to leave it, so I figured, hey, if I were to have a backup plan, what would I do? And of course, it would be like wrapping ankles and icing people and rehab and therapy and stuff like that. I was really into that until science started getting difficult in college. Right? When I got to biology was different. It wasn't like high school biology. Anatomy was different. Everything was so intense and so. It was so many, I think it was the terms, understanding the different muscles and bones in the bodies and knowing the names and all of that stuff. It became too much. And then on top of that, the equations, the science equations. So I was just like, science is not math. Why are we doing this? But it really is, but I didn't know that at the time. And I didn't feel like it was something that I had interest in or could keep my interest. And so I changed my major, moved back to Atlanta, finished up at Georgia State, and then pursued journalism. So that was my backup plan.
Nice. Okay. And so as you started to kind of figure out what areas and aspects of journalism, I know now you're kind of more so into the entrepreneurship space. Did you kind of intern at different places during college, or did you kind of graduate first and then say, okay, maybe I'll try radio and then TV and then the news?
So what I actually did was, how can I put this? I was in college and I did intern at Streets 94.5. That was my first internship. But I was actually, no, I lied. I was blogging before then. I started off as like a blogger for a blog called Hip Hop Factory. I was also doing Holiday Season Live with DJ Holiday. And I was also doing, it was one more, Boss Lady TV, Simone Amelia in New York.
Yeah.
So I was blogging for those 3 blogs to start my career. And so getting in front of the camera, all this stuff was before I was even into journalism or before I even decided to take up journalism. This is while I was doing my sports medicine stuff. So I interviewed for Streets 94.5 after people started noticing, hey, she's a blogger, she would be great. Somebody sent me the invitation saying, hey, Streets 94.5 is looking for interns. And so me blogging led into radio. And then when I got to Streets, you had to be in school, and that was my first year at Georgia State. You had to be in school in order to get that internship. So it just kind of worked out.
Oh, okay. Nice. And so as you were maneuvering through the journalism world, what kind of obstacles did you kind of have to come into? Because I know a lot of times we have to get over hearing the word no a lot. We have to get over rejection a lot. Get over the idea of how many followers do you have, or do you have an audience, or who have you worked for? So what kind of obstacles did you have to kind of
One big obstacle, number one, is the money part. It's no money in it in the beginning. If this is something that you want to pursue, you're not going to immediately get paid for your first gig. Most people, still to this day, people don't pay. If you're really big, think about if you're like Beyonce. Would you pay me to do an interview? You wouldn't, because you're Beyonce. If anything, it benefits me more. So people have to understand you don't necessarily get paid for interviews unless you're the bigger talent, and then there's up and coming talent who wants to utilize your platform. Then you can advertise that way. But there's no money. And then 2, the struggle of accepting that people don't believe in potential. People believe in you doing it and making it happen. So they don't want to see, oh, you're rising and you're on your way. No, they want you to lock in and be good at what you do, and then they'll trust you. So it was always a point that I had to prove until I got to a certain point, because I'm like, man, why don't you see my potential? Why don't you see me? I'm good at this. I do this. I'm working. I'm blah, blah, blah. But then after a while, people get tired of seeing you, and then you become a familiar face, and they be like, all right, let's give this girl a chance. And so those were like 2 struggles that I had, coming into journalism.
Yeah, that hard work does pay off.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I remember when I first met you, and we were at an event with Reese. It was Valentine's Day.
Yes, Hot 107. And Reese is now at Radio 1. I'm with Reese now. That's so crazy.
Yeah. So
and I didn't know that was the first time we met. I've been trying to think about where it was. But
it was at, I think, BMW.
Yes,
down
it was.
Here.
Yes, was that at BMW? It was at a dealership.
Yeah, one of the dealerships in on the south side. But it was that was when I first met you, and you were so welcoming and so warm and accepting. And I think that's one of the things that for me is when I'm overcoming some things is, just thinking about how you're going to be accepted by other journalists or other media personalities, or being on the red carpet and feeling like everybody's staring at you, like trying to see if you know what you're doing, and so that sometimes can get a little nerve-wracking, but it's
that was the first time. Now that I think about it, that was it. I remember.
And just your energy was just amazing. So
thank you.
I appreciate you for that.
No, thank you.
Our next topic of conversation is going to go great with our rosé.
Okay.
As you can see, it's like a little order.
It is order. I like this. Shout out to you.
So we're gonna pour some rosé. This is Fleur de Mer. It's from Côte de Provence, France.
Okay.
And I love rosé. Rosé is a fan favorite in my house because my husband is a rosé fanatic. He always says like he's gonna have him a rosé label.
Oh,
so I'm fully supportive of that because I'll be his number one drinker. So, so cheers.
Cheers. Okay.
Real floral.
This reminds me of So I had a grand opening for one of my shoe store my shoe store, my online boutique, and I gifted the ladies a bottle of rosé. It was a really, really pretty bottle. It had a rose as the top. It was really nice, and it kind of reminds me of that. I can't remember the name of the brand, but the bottle was so pretty. And
Wish I would know what it is.
Yeah.
I like it. It gives real floral vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I do love about rosé as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when I'm thinking about rosé,
man, you got some good choices up here.
I know, right? When I'm thinking about rosé, I think about someone's heart, right? And lately, I've noticed the big heart that you have for our city. And your philanthropic efforts that you have been partnering with other people, and as well as kind of doing some things on your own as far as some community service things. And I know she does a back to school drive, she does a turkey drive, and so can you kind of talk about that a little bit? Like, what drives that for you?
Well, so yes, it's so crazy because I've always wanted to give back to the community. It started back in 2019. Well, let's take it back a little bit more than that. It started with my parents. They owned a daycare center, me growing up. It was at the intersection of Redan and Panola Road in Stone Mountain. And watching how kids gravitated towards them, how parents trusted them. My dad got his own day for community service. He passed away. He's no longer with us, but I took from him and my mom, like, knowing that they were so great with children and so great with the community. And so I knew that eventually I was going to tap into being a humanitarian or working my way towards that level. I just didn't know on what scale or doing what. So in 2019, I started an event called Passion and Pocketbooks, where basically we get a group of ladies, people who want to donate old purses, things that they're not using. And they actually take those purses and fill them up with goods like socks and toothpaste and snacks and things that women need. And then we distribute them to the homeless women on the streets. So that started in 2019. But COVID hit in 2020 and we weren't really allowed to, or wasn't safe, I would say, to do that. So I still haven't done that event, but I'm like hoping like maybe next year it's safe enough because COVID is still around. A lot of people just aren't talking about it. And then from there, I was like, okay, you know what? Since COVID is happening, shout out to my publicist, Frank Lamar told me, hey, you need to do a back to school event. This will be perfect. You're good with kids. Go ahead and do it. So having him on my side, pushing me to do it, I did the back to school event. It was a success. Literally anything community wise that I touch has just been great. And I'm like, okay, we're on to something. You know, it's no blueprint. It's no, we plan it out, we make it happen, but it's just literally just get up, wake up one day and say, okay, let's plan this. We got a month to make it happen. Let's do it. And so that's how that happened. The turkey drive, I was with Dr. Heavily. That's actually not my event. That was hers. And so I was just there with her, you know, like passing out turkeys.
But being a part of it is like an amazing thing, right? Because it kind of just goes to show that you do have a service-based heart. Like, and that's one thing that I do love about you as well. And,
Thank you.
And the personal brand that you're building, it still seems so authentic, you know. So I do love that aspect of things. If you want to, you know, keep eating and of course take some.
Like I'm gonna get some. Is this you said this one is
smoked Gouda?
Smoked Gouda. So am I gonna put the cheese on top of the?
Yeah. So this is what my husband does. He does the cheese on top of the cracker. And dip a little hummus. Okay. And then he likes to eat his like that. Oh. Me, I do a little cracker maybe with a pepper and some hummus. Okay. Good. Yeah. And I just love having my wines with it. So you talked about you now have a publicist. And how long have you been knowing in your field and in your career journey that, okay, it's time for me to get somebody to get some representation?
Well, you get to a point, I still do, so on a scale from 1 to 10, I still do about 7 of everything. So 70% of things that I do for myself. 30%, I think in order to get a publicist, you know, you get to a certain point where you become overwhelmed. And not even that you're stagnant or you're not growing, but sometimes it's better, your value increases when somebody can pitch for you and somebody can put things together for you and just say, hey, go out and execute. But I think the best client is one who actually still puts in the work and is not waiting on the publicist to do everything for them. Right. And so when it comes to Frank and us working together, I can say like I'm his favorite client and he's my favorite publicist because we make each other's jobs easier. Like it's not one person taking on the load of everything. It's like we're working together to make things happen. So I just knew I needed a publicist after realizing that there was a point where, okay, everybody knows who I am. they know what I'm doing, they know my efforts, but how can we take this to the next level? And so that's when it was time for me to add a publicist.
Gotcha. And I know we're gonna go into our red wine. That's my favorite, so
okay.
I'm ready. But I do want to kind of talk about, a lot of people know MiAsia, and it was a viral video when this was 2019 Revolt Summit. She stood up and she was doing a Q&A while Diddy was on one of the panels. And Diddy gave her a job on the spot. She stood up. She was supposed to be asking a question, but Madal was repping. You know, she told them who she is, what she do. She introduced herself. And on the spot, Diddy gave you a job. How has that been? And has that kind of opened more doors for you? Like, do you feel like that kind of provided more opportunities?
See, you know, that opportunity is one that will live with me forever. I remember it like it was yesterday. That opportunity, me getting hired on the spot, he flew me to Los Angeles to work on the Revolt Summit in LA, because the Revolt Summit that year was in 3 locations. It was New York, Atlanta, and Los Angeles. So the Los Angeles one, the Atlanta one was the second stop. Los Angeles was the third stop. So I was able to go out there for a weekend and hang out with Diddy and all the Revolt family, and I was actually on Revolt. But that moment happened in 2019. Now, just to be clear, that was the same year that he lost Kim Porter. And then on top of that, his birthday came up. And then on top of that, going into the new year, the pandemic hit. So everything came to a halt. So whatever momentum I built from that moment, it ceased because there was too much going on that side and in the world. So I took a whole year off, lost momentum. Revolt ended up changing their staff. So there's not really much opportunities that I feel like there's no greater opportunities that came from that moment, but it was a moment that was like a mental note for the industry. I think it was like, we can't hire her right now, we're in a pandemic, you know, there's too much going on in the world, Diddy's, you know, mourning still. But I think it was definitely a mental note to where people understand, okay, she's still capable, regardless of if the timing is bad, she's still capable of whatever responsibilities that we may throw on her or whatever jobs we may give her. She still has the potential to do it. Right.
And it inspired a lot of other people. Like, yeah. I'm talking about people really used that moment to inspire themselves to speak up. Yeah. Speak up for yourself, because if you don't speak up for yourself, who's
closed mouths don't get fed.
Closed mouth. That was the lesson. Closed mouths don't get fed. When you stood up and you introduced yourself, it was a powerful moment. Yeah. Like, everybody in the audience was like, "Did he just offer her a job on the spot like that?" And now it's like, let me stand up and tell him who I am. But I started to send him a DM. I'm like, yeah, let me tell you about me. But I think that was like a really powerful moment, and it inspired a lot of young girls and even a lot of older people too, who were kind of watching them like, okay, this is how we have to hustle this. Okay, so next we're gonna go with a Pinot Noir.
Okay,
this is one of my favorite red grapes. Okay, I tend to look for Pinot Noirs from the Oregon region. Okay, try to go for the Willamette Valley, but that's not always the case. This is the Oregon Pinot Noir. Yes.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you, fun fact. When I went through a breakup in 2016, I tasted almost every wine there was out there.
Oh, it was just a taste.
It was yeah, I tasted. I tasted it. And it got me through, but I learned a lot about wine just, you know, by going through that moment. And you try to take your down moments and turn them into positives. You know, I wasn't like this big alcoholic or anything, but I definitely really got into wine because I'm like, I need something to relax my mind and something to kind of keep me grounded. And so this right here reminds me of one of those wines that I tried, you know, back in, I don't know which one in particular. Yeah. Because there was so many.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And so, and the thing about the Oregon Pinot Noirs that I love is that they have this black cherry tasting note that I like gravitate to. It just reminds me of, like, you know, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. But it's so funny because it's one of the driest. Yes. Right? So I also love that it's, you know, lighter body. I know we love a Cabernet. I know I love a Bordeaux. But this one is a little bit more lighter body. Okay. Definitely has a lot of legs, but like I said, that doesn't always mean sugar content because, as we can see, it's really dry. So
it is.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I love me a good Pinot Noir.
This one is All of these, you got a great. So like, you got to send me a list afterwards. Of things that I should, try, because this is my first time trying these.
Yeah, and the thing that I love about like a lot of the wines that I try to recommend to people, I try to make sure that I stay in a good like budget range.
Of course.
With inflation now, I try to stay under $30. It used to be like under $25, but I try to stay under $30. And that way you can kind of go to the grocery store and still kind of go to the top shelf a little bit. But, it still doesn't have to be in the $100 range. And
no, that's good. All of those are good.
That Pinot Noir, that's one of my favorites. I love it. And so when I think about red wines, one of the things about the color red is I think about, okay, like what's the future hold for my love life? What's the future hold for my career? So kind of just looking into the future, and for some reason that's what I incorporate with that. And before we kind of talk about love life, Ready to Love. That was the show, right? Ready to
no, Put a Ring on it.
Put a ring on it. Sorry.
Same network, but different show.
Put a ring on it. I was like, did she just
oh my god, I forgot I did that.
I said, she's going to date with this girl, man.
Oh goodness.
How was that? How did you even like look when you popped up on the TV screen? I was like, is that my age?
Okay, so I just kind of got caught in a crossfire, and that just kind of landed in my lap, and it was an opportunity, and I took it. Will Packer and his team reached out to me. They felt that I would be a great dater for the show. It was a show. Basically, the concept is, for those who don't know, Put a Ring on It is all about trying to figure out if the person that you're with is worth being with or worth keeping, and if they are, go ahead and marry them. Put a ring on it. But in the process of dating that person, you're going to go through temptation. You're going to go through different obstacles. And those tests, if you make it out together, then you're meant to be. That's what the whole concept of the show is.
So you were the temptation.
I was a temptation. I was a temptation.
See, this is temptation.
I was a temptation. Shout out to Will Packer. Shout out to OWN Network, Oprah Winfrey. I think it was an amazing opportunity. It was fun. The guy that I dated on the show, his name was Kenneth. And I did know his girlfriend, who was Shorty Mac. I was an intern at the radio station while she was a personality at the station and the morning show. So I, on the show, I know she says, that was my intern. But it was more so like, no, I was an intern for the station. And I happened to like assist and help in the morning show like when needed. But I worked many different shows. But I had no idea that she was going to be on the show. I had no idea. I didn't know that she was going to be on the show until I knocked on the door and she opened the door. So what I can say is y'all are messy for doing that to me, because I had no idea that she was at the door. And transparent moment, when I saw that she was at the door and I know I was there to take her man on a date, I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I want to go
while the cameras were rolling.
Well, I didn't say it. But in my head, I'm thinking,
while the camera's rolling.
I'm like, what would the world think of me? Like, I'm a homewrecker. I'm a whatever you name it. I'm a side piece or whatever you want to call it. I was just like, wow, I was not ready for this. Now, if I didn't know her, I would have felt differently about it, because it's like, this is the point of the show. And it did make things awkward as the show was airing, and as it was on TV, it did make things awkward between us. But long story short, I saw her in the club like after the show, after the reunion, and she was like, girl, it's just TV stuff, I understand. And we just laughed about it. It was like, girl, I don't want your man. Okay, all right. And then they're not together anymore. But it was the moment that we had where the girl power was still intact, and it wasn't like I betrayed her. I didn't get his cell phone number or anything like that. So
because I was like, what if he picked her?
And he did. He did, but it was just more so. Well, no, he didn't on the show, but he did behind the scenes. That's what it was. And so on the show, he did the right thing by, I guess, trying to just keep the respect intact, and he was actually fighting for their relationship. But I just felt like it was awkward. I honestly didn't even promote the show much. I posted it like a couple of times, but I was like, I'm not about to promote that I'm a homewrecker or promote that I'm dating somebody else's man. So it was more so just a great experience. feel to see how it feels to actually be on reality TV.
Yeah.
It's just something on a bucket list that I was able to cross off.
Yeah, I love to hear you say that though. I wonder if, because for me, I'm be honest, I was thinking about it like it's just TV.
Yeah,
you know? And I'm wondering if all the audience members thought like, or the viewers that were watching were thinking about it from that perspective too. Like it's just TV.
I think you think about it like that because you know me.
Because I know you.
But if you didn't know me, you probably look at it like,
what you think she is? Come and take that lady man.
Yeah, but because you know me and you know my personality, you know my intentions are well, and that I wouldn't like purposely try to take somebody's man or.
So, relationship. How is that going for you? I know you have a very demanding career. I know that you're a very busy woman. How's that going for you?
So, relationship. I'm in a relationship. It's the best that it's ever been. I was able to date 3 people before meeting my guy. I feel like I have my person. I met my person. We're happy. He's very supportive of my career, and he's able to help me flesh out ideas. And, you know, he's very strong and significant when it comes to my career. And even with me being a woman, you know, he helps me become a better woman. And I think that's the most important thing. You know, like I haven't, you know, when you're dating, you date different people, you date on levels. But he's somebody who's actually been there for me, and he's shown me, like, I'm a man, you're a woman, let's act like king and queen, and let's take it to the next level. So,
God, that support factor is important. And of course in your career and in your everyday life, but I know even for you, kind of just still that aspect of femininity that we have as women. And I know you're still kind of grieving the loss of your father as well, so I know that support factor and that patience factor is something that we really look for when it comes to relationships. So I'm so glad that you have found that. That's important, very much so important. So let's kind of talk about...
Wait. Before you say that, how are you? Because I know that you experienced a tough time in your life. Yeah. So I don't want to talk too deep into it because I know, but how are you mentally?
I am pushing through. I am hanging in here. I'm in therapy. I'm going through grief counseling, and I don't mind. People that know me know that I lost my daughter from cancer. So, and it'll be 4 years this year, and we just celebrated her birthday. Aww. And but I'm pushing through. You know, I'm making it. I'm doing the best that I can. If I'm honest, I'm doing the best that I can.
How old was she?
She was 5.
She was 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a tough time, and then sometimes I still have tough times, but like I said, I have a very supportive husband as well, who is very understanding, very patient with me. You know, he also deals with things, so just having that person that understands what that loss is from a very close connectivity standpoint, I am very thankful to have my husband. And my family, my support system. But
he's important. That's important.
That's important.
And I mean, I lost my father to colon cancer. So, you know, like, I've gotten to a point where I feel like, you know, they're going to be with us. You know, your daughter's going to be with you. My dad's going to be with me. They're watching. They're our angels at this point. You know, they live within us. That spirit and that connection that you had when they were here physically on earth. It's not going to go anywhere. Right. And so once I was able to move past that, you know, like I have uncles and people who remind me of him, or certain moments that remind me of him. It keeps me going like, okay, I see what you did there. You're still there. Right. I see it. Right. You know? Right. So it's moments like that. Like you may, I don't know, it could be something as small as like her teddy bear. You walk into the store and you see her favorite teddy bear on the shelf that you bought her at one point in time. Small things. It just shows that she's still there and she's, you know, she's in your corner and she wants the best for you. So, that's just my own way of like getting through those tough moments. Yeah, I love it. It wasn't as it doesn't get easier. You just cope with it better. Yeah, you know, it's just like you find different ways to get past those moments. So I wanted to. I know you were going into your next point, but I just wanted to touch on that because I'm just not that person that's just not going to let that fly. Right. Knowing that I haven't even had a real moment with you to talk about that. Yeah. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm hanging in there, and I know that you are. And the thing is like. It's that thing where it's like, it gets easier, and I put quotations around it because obviously life has to kind of continue, and that's why it's easier to continue because you know that they're always there. You know they're always in your corner. Exactly. But goals. Okay. We just started a new year. It's 2023. What are some goals that you kind of set for yourself this year? Okay, so before we get into the goals, I definitely want to leave some words of advice to your audience, to you, anybody who could pick this up. I don't know if I'm just like been living under a rock or if this is new for me, but for the first time in my life, I was able to draw a calendar from January to December. And I filled up all my events and things that I'm booked for and things that I'm doing all in 1 year on one calendar. And this is the most organized that I've ever been. So I already know what I'm doing on June 4th of 2023 because I've been able to write things down. I'm booking, I'm following up like, hey, are y'all locking in a deposit for this? Because I got to get this on my calendar. So I'm super, super organized. And I think what that is going to do is not only solidify those dates for me and create those opportunities, but it's going to bring more room for opportunities because I don't know, I'm just so organized and I feel like that's already on the calendar. Things are just going to come out of nowhere and the blessings are going to come.
Wow.
And I'm really big on if you write things down, it comes to life. And so if I can leave any advice, I would just say going forward in December, whether it's December 31st, for the new year, plan out your calendar January to December and write everything down that needs to get done, even if you need to put a question mark next to it because it's not locked in. If there's an event you want to throw, if there's an engagement date, if there's a baby shower you want to throw, all the way from family to personal to business, whatever, get that on your calendar and write it out because I already feel like my whole year of 2023 is mapped out all the way till December.
I love that. And you still got time. Look, it's still January. Start with February 1st, okay? But we still got time because I know
yes, you do.
When it comes to organization, Nini and organization can't even go into that. Like, I am all over the place. Sometimes I look around and I'm like, but the funny thing is today, I was looking for my SD card for my camera. And I said, see, this is why I don't put stuff away because I don't know where I put it away at. This is why I don't put stuff away. Like, if I organize stuff, I ain't going to be able to find it.
Yeah.
But I think that's important. Right. No, I think that's important. No, to be honest, I do think that's important because organization is key. If there's clutter around you, if things are disorganized around you, things are just going to be all over the place. That's a representation of where life is. That's in my opinion. Like, it's really hard for me to be creative when things are just all over the place and everywhere. Or like you said, if I can't visually see it, if I can't, mentally think about where things are supposed to be, then they're all over the place. And that's a good representation of life. So I really appreciate you giving my audience that. But for real, I needed it.
No problem.
That was for me.
No problem. And then as far as goals, so this year, I'm really focused on my events. So I have a partnership with NARS Cosmetics. I'm throwing a beauty influencer event on in March. Well, I don't want to put the date out there because it's a private event, so I don't want people like showing up. But it's in March. It's for Women's Appreciation Month, and I'm honoring beauty influencers who are really working hard behind the scenes, who do all type of celebrity faces, and they don't get the proper recognition. So I'm doing that. I'm also throwing a Father's Day event. I'm throwing a back to school event. I'm throwing a big ball in December. So I have things going on and things already planned that I'm just like working on. And so goals for this year is just to execute those events and then open up potential TV opportunities in regards to like hosting. I really, really want to get into the digital and TV space a little bit more. I've been doing it on my own platform, but I want to be able to tap in with some of those bigger brands and make that happen.
I love that. I really love that, especially the events that you have coming up. The NARS.
Yeah,
I know it's private, but I'll be there.
I'll give you an invitation.
Camera. Yeah, I'll have a little camera action, But I appreciate you so much for coming to talk to me and enjoy some wines. Wine is like one of my favorite things. I'm gonna tell you, when I was growing up, I didn't get to travel as much.
Okay.
So when I try wines from different regions, as you can see, I kind of point out the regions that they come from. It's my way of kind of tapping into that culture. It's my way of tapping into their soils, which is funny because that's where the grapes come from. Their soils. So it's just like something that I just love and enjoy doing, and I really love to kind of take that journey with other people.
Yes.
Wine is a social drink.
It is a social drink. Yeah. And you, like I said, you have great choices. You got to send me your list.
Yes.
The whole charcuterie thing, you got to teach me how to make a board because I see people make it in different ways. Like I've seen people put like the salami or around the glass and turn it up. It's like shaped in a roast. I've seen all different types. Yeah. But I appreciate this. This is definitely my vibe. Yeah. And, we got to do something together.
Yeah, let's do that. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Like I said, this is the Taste of Fruition, episode 1. Make sure you stay tuned. We just have some more guests, and I'm just so thankful to MiAsia Symone for coming to sit with me. And yeah, y'all have a blessed evening.
Wait, you gotta plug me. So,
I have to plug you. I'm so sorry.
So you can follow me on all social media at MiAsia Symone. That's MiAsia and Symone with a Y. That's across the board. That's Instagram. That's Twitter. That's Facebook. YouTube is MSL Media. And yeah, you can follow I got so many pages, but yeah, just follow MiAsia Symone, and that'll lead you to everything else that I have going on.
Yes, please look at all these big things that she got going on, because you can't mention Atlanta without mentioning MiAsia. Okay, thank you so much for sitting down with me. Y'all stay tuned, and bye.
Bye.